In this video, we are going to look at eBay's MC999 account suspension ban. This is a series of videos involved in a playlist that I will link in the comments section. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go through the journey of one being banned, which is what happened to me recently. And just as a point of reference, this is a fairly large computer store that has $600,000 in sales over the last 5 years. I have spoken to a few people, including eBay account representatives, who were honestly not very helpful with the situation. They were very quick to hang up the phone and not give any real explanations for what exactly is going on. So I've had to do a lot of this research myself. I do plan on appealing this ban as much as I possibly can. And I want to take YouTube along with me on this journey so that we can better understand these types of situations and hopefully prevent other people from losing their seller account. So after receiving this email from eBay, and this is for my second smaller account that was recently opened, after receiving this message from eBay saying that this account can't be appealed and all this, I immediately called eBay, got someone on the phone, and they basically confirmed that there is no appeals process. Fortunately, we now live in the AI age and things can be researched. We can talk to people on Reddit and things like that and get other people's stories, which is why I want to hear other people's stories in the comments section. But after being told that this MC999 ban cannot be appealed, I quickly went to AI and started asking questions. And that I think is what everybody should do. So the initial response that I was given from AI would be this. It is disheartening to hear, but for the vast majority of cases, what you've been told is correct. An MC999 ban is generally considered to be unappealable by eBay's standard customer service. Now, just wait here because we are actually going to look at some things that possibly disagree with this in some ways and do suggest that these bans can actually be appealed. But let's just continue with the response here. So as we can see, while other codes like MC011 are an invitation to provide documents, MC999 is eBay's way of saying the relationship is over. You cannot buy or sell is essentially what that means. However, unappealable doesn't always mean impossible. So these are the key phrases here that I want people to remember, because a lot of people, I think, just simply give up and do not try. And that's why, these issues are never really brought to management. I do believe there are a lot of people that are being banned from eBay that should not be banned. That doesn't mean that none of these bans are valid. I think I fully believe that there's a lot of scammy behavior that goes on through eBay. But there does need to be a much better review process, and that's my goal for this series of videos that we're going to be posting. So let's just continue with what this says. It says, however, unappealable doesn't always mean impossible. It just means the standard call us button will not work. And I did find that out to be true myself. It was an unpleasant phone call. I was quickly hung up on 2 times, and I was never given an explanation of what exactly the problem was. Why it's called unappealable. When you receive this notice, eBay has usually moved your account into the quote risk category, where frontline agents are literally restricted from overturning the decision. So, this is another part of the conversation that I had with AI. Basically, AI basically told me to stop calling because there's nothing that they can really do at this point. And here it says literally restricted from overturning the decision. So the person that you're talking to on the phone isn't going to have the authority or the power to even help you out, really. The quote final script. If you call, agents will likely read a script saying this decision is final for the safety of the community. And I'm just laughing because I know that nothing was done wrong in my account. I've got a long seller history, $600,000 in sales. And, even though I'm sure there are legitimate instances, and there are probably many, but they're not all legitimate instances. AI versus human. Most MC999s are triggered by an automated system. So this is a bot that is banning you in this situation. Once that permanent flag is set, the system often blocks the agent's ability to even edit the account status. So here's the real question. If you have received one of these messages, is there any hope at all? There are 2 specific long shot paths that people use when they have been banned in error. For example, they weren't actually selling fake items, counterfeit items, or aren't actually linked to a banned person. Now notice AI does refer to these as long shot paths, so very small percentage probabilities. Number 1, the eBay for Business route. Standard phone support is outsourced and has low authority. So don't call. You're probably wasting your time. The eBay for Business team found on Facebook and X or Twitter is staffed by higher level US based employees, people that might have a little bit more authority. The strategy: do not be angry, and this can be difficult if you've been unfairly banned. I don't know. I mean, I've got a long history. I've done a lot of work for eBay, made them a lot of money. It can be difficult to hold your anger in check there, but AI is saying send a concise message to these are online outlets here, Facebook or X. And say, I received an MC999 notice. I believe this is a mistake because, and then give the reason. For example, I have receipts for all of my items. I have never had another account. That's not true in my case. I did open a second account. Could a manual reviewer please look at my case? So that's sort of the online social media route. I do think that to some extent these eBay and other entities like this don't want these issues being out in public. If you're sort of complaining on your Facebook account or your eBay or your X account, it sort of makes eBay look bad to some extent. So maybe you can get a manual reviewer because you're using other social media outlets. Number two, the formal notice of dispute. And my guess is that this is probably a much stronger path or strategy to use. If you are a legitimate business or have significant funds being held, eBay usually holds funds for 60 to 90 days after an MC99. That's a lot of time to be without your money. You can send a formal notice of dispute to their legal department. Now, this is what more along the lines of what I plan on doing. I did send some messages through the social media outlets. I don't believe I received a response. I can check again, but it was taking a while and I don't believe I received a response. And this is where I plan on taking things to the notice of dispute to the legal department. And in the next video, I'm going to be showing my actual letter. So I do recommend that people go through this full playlist because we're discussing a lot of different issues that are related to this topic. When sending the notice of dispute, this triggers a review by a real human in the legal compliance department. So this is going to be another level up, and my assumption, maybe I'm wrong, but I would assume that most people don't take it this far. And we're even talking about people that did not legitimately break eBay policy in any way. eBay's user agreement includes an arbitration clause, mentioning that you are prepared to follow the formal dispute resolution process. Sometimes gets a senior specialist to actually look at your account. And that's what you need in a situation like this because, you were effectively banned by a bot. And then you've got lower level representatives in a call center, probably outside of the United States, who don't actually have the authority to change anything about the account. That's why they're just going to hang up the phone. Now, the brutal reality check. I'm just as scared as you are, believe me. If you were actually linked to a banned account, for example, if you created a new account because your old one was banned or you live with someone who is banned, eBay will not reinstate you. So that seems to be a fairly firm and confident response from AI here. Their system is incredibly good at tracking IP addresses, device IDs, and even the digital fingerprint of your browser. Important note, and I do want people to pay attention to this. If you see account reinstatement services online promising that they can get back your account for $500, they are probably scams. They usually just send a templated email that you could have sent yourself, and we're going to get to that in the next section of this series here. And they cannot hack eBay's internal systems. Oh, God. All right. Well, I don't know. I haven't looked at anything like that myself, but I do believe that those types of people probably exist. So make sure to like and subscribe. I do want this video to reach as many people as possible because this video is not being monetized, but I do want this video to reach as many people as possible because this is a conversation that needs to be had. Most people simply do nothing and don't know what sort of power they have or what options they might have. So please like and subscribe to this video and importantly, leave your experiences in the comment section so we can develop a conversation and show how many people are actually being affected by these these banning practices that really have a serious lack of transparency.